dog? Oh, that, I got a tree. Here.
Every time she moves, she's got a squawk over there.
I know.
It's her. We're gonna spray you with WD-40.
I know.
Is it your chair or the table?
It's the table.
Table. Sit still.
You can bring a little olive oil in.
Yeah. Hey, Doug. How you doing?
We're going down.
Good.
Charlie.
It's 4:30, we can call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Needham?
Here.
Councilman Bill? Supervisor Runyon? Here. Councilman Brown?
Here.
Councilman Volusia?
Here.
Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is hash out our budget.
Need a motion to bring it forth?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Ed seconded.
I don't know if you've all had a chance to look over this one here. It has, the sales tax down to 450,000.
That looks different from what I've got, or is it just that this is black and white? I'm
It's
sorry.
black and white. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
I could get you a color.
No, I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
The appropriated fund balance has the 50,000 in it. I'm just going over what's different.
Yep, thank you.
The contingency, I put another 5,000 in there because I do think some codes may go over.
Where is that?
That's on page 3,
Okay.
it's A1990.4. It should be a full page like this one.
Oh, okay, got it. Yep, so we've got.
The dog control, I got the contract yesterday, it's 2,500. And I put in another 1,000 in case we have 2 dogs picked up. That's really the only thing that changed on here,
We've got 25,000 more on sales tax.
25,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm comparing it to the preliminary. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
so there's 25 more, okay.
more, but we had talked about 475, remember?
Actually, we had 500 at one time, so we dropped it. We're back.
Well, we're at 550 now, if you count the 100 that's in the highway.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Which, I know that we've gotten that for 3 years, so I feel safe with that.
Yep, I hear you.
So the way, I'll just go over like what that means as far as the rate. That would make our rate 7.738, which is 49 cents higher than last year's. If you look, you don't have that there, well, maybe you do. The to be raised in taxes in the general fund is lower than we had in it for last year.
Right. But we've increased the highway fund.
Yeah, highway fund increase, predominantly from the union contract changes, the health insurance increase, and they get the bulk of the hit in the retirement increase. So, we're $65,796 over the cap. And I did find out today that the Warren County budget's going down, and that will be 0.558 lower. So with our 4.491 increase, taxes for the people will still go down a small amount overall. I think it's a good budget. I don't know if you want to discuss any other changes, or is it okay? Do you want to proceed?
I have a proposal.
Okay.
And I know Ed cringed when I said that, but said, and I appreciate the effort to do what we talked about in the last one. I think that we have an opportunity to actually bring this budget in under the tax cap, which is what our target should be, to be fiscally responsible. So, in order to do that, we need to find $66,000, and I think that we can do that by adjusting the garage contractual and maybe a couple of other things. And if we did that, we would end up with our tax revenue would only be increasing by 3.38%, and our general fund tax rate, if we did it all in the general fund, would become 1.327, and that would represent only a 1.6% increase in the tax rate. And I don't think it would be that hard for us to do it, because I still maintain that I don't think we're gonna have to make a payment on the garage this year. And I think that if we did that, we could look at the taxpayers and say that we did our job and that we were fiscally responsible, that we've given them a budget that stays under the tax cap.
$65,000, where is it gonna come from?
66,000.
Yeah,
I think we take it out of the garage contractual.
you're lowering the 150,000 that's being put aside.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we lowered it 150,000, but then we've increased the sales tax from 425 back up to 450. So we put 25 back on the tax revenue, and we've added some other things back on the tax revenue, which I don't disagree with. Don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing with any of those things. But I think we have a chance to actually show the public and the taxpayers that we're being fiscally responsible and that we can stay within the tax cap. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that we have an adequate fund balance to cover our expenses. I looked at what you proposed here, the two fund balance calculations you did. The first half of both of them I actually agree with completely. The part where you kind of lose me a little bit is when we start talking about what we need in January. I understand we need operating capital from the end of the fiscal year until we get tax revenue in, I get that. But that's what our fund balance will cover. And we're gonna get that money back as soon as the tax revenue comes in. So it's not like it's lost, it's only floated temporarily for that month. So I just think we have a chance to do the right thing and show the public that we're fiscally responsible, and I'd like to see us do it. So that's my proposal.
I think it'll hurt us to do that. I think we should go over the tax cap, and we should put 150,000 away, because if next year we have a payment, we have nothing set aside, what about the big hit they take then?
I'm not sure I follow you. What payment? You mean the payment for the
If we have
garage?
a payment next year, and we have nothing put aside, or if we need attorney fees, or we need more engineer fees, where do
We
we
have
have it?
fund balance.
Not much.
Well, I mean, according to the calculations that you provided, I mean, end of the year estimated fund balance in the general fund is 516,000. Now, I understand what you've done, and this is, I'm looking at highway fund. And I understand what you're doing with estimated expenditures for January, but anything that we spend in January out of our fund balance, we get back with tax revenue at the end of the month, so it's not lost, it's just,
Right,
In-
and I added it back in, and it's 99,000, is the fund balance. I added it back in there.
no, if we have an estimated end of year fund balance of 516,000, then that's what we have. I mean, it doesn't go anyplace. I mean, that 200,000 comes out during the month of January to pay bills. But as soon as we get our revenue back at the end of the month, that 200,000 goes right back into our fund balance. So it's not gone anyplace.
No, right, for that number, yeah, you're right, that's what happens
And
there.
as far as the chips goes, whatever we spend on that, we get that money back during the year. So
at
it's
the
not,
end of the year, so we have nothing between that time. We'll get it in November.
but we're starting with a $516,000 fund balance, and that's just in the highway fund. We also have a fund balance, the end of the year fund balance for, the general fund. You have to take out what we set aside for closure of the C and D site. This is, so I mean, the way you did the numbers is a little bit different than what I would have done with them, but.
Well, that's
The cash on-
non-spendable money.
Right, I get that, so you have to take that out,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have, I'd have to do this, we still have a few $100,000 in the general fund, and it's the same thing, I mean, we still have to cover bills in January, I get that, and you have to take out you've added the 161,000 or whatever it was for the C and D from New York class, but then you take it back out later, so, I mean, that's money in and out, that's reserved, I get that, that's set
Mhm.
aside, but we still have several $100,000 that we're sitting on, so that's just my proposal. That's what I feel like we should do to be responsible to the taxpayers, and if we need to make a payment, it's probably gonna happen, I just can't imagine we're gonna make the payment before the end of fiscal year 2025. I mean, we're not even at a point where we have bid documents, we're not ready to bid the project, we don't know how we're financing it yet, we don't have that information. We aren't ready to break ground on it. We don't have a contract, even if with contractor, if we bid it and we get a contractor, we don't know when the contractor's gonna start the job. I mean, they may be busy, might not start it until halfway through the year. Just because we bid it doesn't mean as soon as the bid's awarded, they're gonna start construction. They're gonna have to order materials, it's gonna take time to get materials on site. My gut tells me that the project's not gonna get done, or at least we're not gonna have to make a payment this year. So I don't see why take taxpayer money and sit on it. That's just my opinion. That's my proposal.
I don't know about that. I don't feel comfortable with that. Because if we do decide to go ahead, there'll be nothing there. Well,
Is she gonna train you how to run that phone?
I got it off, I don't know if I'm stable. Why it rings, I got the whole thing
yeah,
off.
he needs technical help. What do you guys think? Because I really don't wanna, I don't wanna go lower than where we are. 49 cents a thousand, I think is fair. We're only increasing it slightly. Overall, they're gonna see a decrease with the county going down, but to hit it another 65,000 and just to stay under the cap, I worry more about not having enough to proceed if we needed to.
Not only that, but what if we have a major catastrophe again and you need some funds, you know? There's some things they do.
Well, yeah, that's what this was considering, what our fund
In
balance
fact,
policy
You
was.
call them over on your road, what if they were to go out on this? Here's a prime example, if they're gone, it's gonna cost a lot of money to repair it, and they won't come through with your funds, you're gonna have to come up with our own.
We have fund balance. It's
Yeah.
not- I mean, we're pretending like we don't have fund
Oh, I'm not
balance, we do.
saying we don't, I'm just looking, ahead, so that if anything does happen, and I understand what you're saying, and I also understand how I would budget my money, I would not wanna run right down to nothing, because if you have a disaster, where are we gonna get the money? Does
But
the
we're not
fund
running
balance-
down to nothing, we've
We
got
don't know,
we don't
we don't know
3
what's gonna
months,
happen, that's what I'm
3
saying.
months worth of operating funds based on our fund balance policy and what we're doing. We have 3 months of our budget set aside, which is 25% of all the money we take in.
That's only 229,000.
No,
That's
it's
our
not.
fund balance policy, 229.
That's just general fund.
Yeah,
We also have 25% in the highway fund
which if he needs to put that out for chips and he finishes Bowen Hill, that would be more than the 302, it'll be 450.
Is it Bowen Hill or Huber Road? Cause at the meeting it was Huber Road, now it's Bowen Hill. Which one are we doing?
It was Bone Hill.
Yeah,
We doing the whole length of it?
he wants.
I'd like to. If there's money, you get 302,000 chips, but it would be more than that to finish, it's just under 3 miles.
When was the last time we paved it?
Quite a while ago. We've never paved the whole road, we've done piecemeal.
Done from River Road to George's Knolls.
No, we didn't.
No.
Whenever we paved that, we do usually it's a mile at a time.
Oh, you just fixed it.
Here's the thing though, if we're going to do a major project, in any capital project, and it's more than what we've got coming in for chips, we expect 302,000 for chips.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna do a project that's $450,000, we shouldn't be relying on fund balance to do that, we should be budgeting for that, if we know we're gonna do it. I mean, just,
They should have, you're right, I mean, but what, the problem with the CHIPS program is that was never intended to be your sole source of revenue for paving, it's supposed to be in addition to your local funding. And when CHIPS came out, the towns were like, oh, we've got found money, so now, we cut taxes, so we'll just rely solely on CHIPS. And the state bitches about that all the time, they said that every town has done it, so they don't raise no local revenue for it.
well, I guess that's what I'm saying, is if we know it's gonna be $450,000, then we should be budgeting the additional $148,000 out of our budget and not saying, not waiting until the bill comes and saying, well, we gotta take it out of fund balance. We should be budgeting for it today.
That would be.
If that's what we're gonna do, and we know we're gonna do it.
Why aren't we taking that $302,000 of CHIPS money and putting it towards a new highway garage that we don't know whether we're building or not?
You can't use it for buildings.
Sure you can.
Now you can.
Takes you 2 minutes, Pat, look it up, CHIPS money.
I've looked it up, I haven't told me that, you can buy highway equipment with it.
You can buy a building with it.
No, it's a general fund expense. You can't do it.
You need to call the Washington County Budget Officer, cause he just built
Well,
this
I-
out of CHIPS money.
How we build it out CHIPS money? It's illegal. CHIPS has
He
to go
took
for,
3 years, rolled 3 years of CHIPS money over, and they just built a new garage that they're opening up Thanksgiving Day.
Who is?
I'd have to figure out how he did that and see the paperwork that he submitted to CHIPS.
Washington County.
Because CHIPS is for
Different
highway
county, too.
construction, bridge construction, with a
Building
building expectancy of
construction.
10 years. There's nothing in there for building.
You can
He
only.
said,
roll
only
it
takes a
over-
second, look it up, CHIPS money.
You can only roll it over 1 year,
No, 3 years.
not here.
You said the county has nothing to do with it, it's state money.
You can roll your CHIPS over 1 year. If you don't use it this year, you've got to use this year's next year or you lose it.
He rolled his over 3
Because we
years,
had
I
to
guess
do
somebody's
salt.
off, cause he just built a whole new garage in Hebron with 3 years of CHIPS money.
Well, that was
Because
900,000.
it's categorized now. You've got early winter recovery, you've got pave our potholes. That is strictly, has to be used first and for roads.
And
It
he
can't be
did all
used to
that.
build a building.
And he still did all of that and still rolled over money for his garage.
You can only roll it over 1 year here, I know that for a fact.
Okay, we're getting sidetracked though
Yeah.
from what we're talking about here, so.
So here's the thing, do you want to lower our 100, because that's where it would have to come from. Do you wanna lower the 150,000 that we have in that garage equipment or capital fund, whatever it is? Or do you wanna stay with the 150,000? Because that's really the only way we're going to pay our bills, would be to lower that down to like 80,000.
82.
Yeah.
You'd have to lower it from 150 to 82, and that would take 66,000 off the. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. 84.
Started with 300,
It'd
now
be
down to
84,000. So if we lower it from 150 to 84,000, that brings us in under the tax cap.
We don't have to stay under the cap.
No, you don't.
No, we passed the local law that allows us to exceed it, but I'm just saying to be fiscally responsible, I think we should.
What would the rate be if you did that?
The rate would be $7.363. It'd be a 1.6% increase over what it was last
What
year.
was your number?
7.363.
6363?
Now, I calculated that without the changes that you made, including Parks and Rec, or Dogs and, what the heck is the name of that? I got it
Parks and
all.
Rec.
Okay, with that and a couple of the other minor changes, so it's gonna be close to this, but it'll be off a little bit different, but
Mhm.
I said 66,000, the actual number's probably a little bit different than that,
So
so.
it's like 30 cents a thousand is what we said.
Hold on a second, I'll tell you what we'd have to lower it. Gotta go through the summary. Cause the tax cap is 1,296,615,000. And so,
49.
It's still 66,000. I mean, it's 65,796. I'm rounding it off. If you lower it, $66,000. So that means take the, if you do it all at a garage contractual, and you can do it another way. You can add fund balance in. There's different ways to do it. But if you subtract 66,000 from the 150,000, that means you leave 84,000 in garage contractual. We come in under the tax cap. And we haven't touched our fund balance other than the 50,000 you put in here. That's my proposal. I'm just,
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I'm for keeping it the way it is.
we're a 5-person board and everybody gets a vote.
So you guys gotta decide, or do you wanna do a roll call vote right now, or what do you wanna do?
Hold on, I guess.
You ready to vote?
Which one are we voting on?
Well, whichever one.
Are you voting to keep the 150,000 in there? Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I can make a motion to,
Yeah,
I'll make a motion.
we have the motion, all we gotta do is vote.
Yeah, we've already made the motion to bring it to the floor. You just gotta vote on it.
Just gotta vote.
Ready?
I'll read it and then we'll vote.
Okay.
Whereas the town board has completed the public hearing and discussion regarding the 2025 budget and is satisfied that the budget presented at the November 19th special meeting, which modified the preliminary budget, should now be considered the final budget, be it resolved, the town board hereby adopts the 2025 final budget and authorizes the supervisor to submit this budget to Warren County.
Well, timeout before you vote. Your resolution says the budget that we did yesterday. Or no, it's this,
Today,
okay, I'm sorry, the date, today's the 19th.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
That's
my
okay.
mistake, I had the wrong date,
Mhm.
so we're good. You can call for the vote.
Ready?
Yeah,
Councilman Needham?
Yes.
Councilman Bills?
Yes.
Supervisor Runyon?
yes,
Councilman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Galusha?
No.
All right, the next resolution, we had 3 bills come in that need to be paid before our next meeting. 2 of them are First National Bank of Omaha credit card bills. And one's for general fund, one's for highway. I don't know why I don't have them. I have the bills, but not the resolution. Well, I'll just read them off to you. I have them here.
You want me to read the resolution?
Yeah, you have it in your packet? I don't have it in mine.
I'll I'll make a motion to bring the resolution to the floor.
I don't know. I'll say, found it.
Ed seconded it. You gonna read it or you want me to?
It don't matter, you can.
Resolution to approve payment of the two FBNO invoices, Whereas the FBNO invoice for both general fund and highway fund did not come in before the November meeting, which was held a week early, and this invoice is due before the next meeting date. Be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the payment of the two FBNO invoices in the amount of A fund $2,507.72 and DA fund $568.70 as reflected in the attached vouchers.
Do you wanna see these bills? Do you wanna see them?
Is there an abstract for the general fund?
The abstract only has the highway one on it right now, because this was done late, and I didn't have time to run one. There's a voucher for it though, and it's on an abstract, it's on abstract 12.
Is the abstract for the $568, where it says highway checking, should that be an 11 or a 12?
It says what?
Highway checking, underneath it says 1219, should that be an 11?
No, abstract 12 is for December 19th, our meeting. This will be done as a prepay,
Okay.
being that we're approving it early. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next one is for Barks and Rec. This just came in yesterday, I got it today. The yearly fee for the shelter is now $2,500. Their fees, pretty much all went up. And it says here that it has to be returned no later than December 20th. So, someone wanna bring this one to the floor, please?
I will.
Good, okay. And Charlie, second? Okay. Whereas the Barks and Rec invoice just came in on November 18th and is due before December 20th, and whereas the invoice states that if payment is not received by December 20th, there will be a termination of dog control services for the 2025 year. Be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the payment of the Barks and Rec invoice in the amount of $2,500 so that the payment can be received prior to the termination date. Does anybody want to see the contract? No? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one here is a bill from Waste Management. It is from August, so it's past due. It has not appeared on any of our statements showing that it was past due, but the secretary called there today and they said that if we don't have this paid within 2 weeks, they're gonna stop our service.
You already have.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone wanna bring this one to the floor?
Which
Yeah.
bill?
Doug?
What's
Yeah,
that?
second.
Brought it to the floor.
If Joe did, I'll second it.
Okay, it's what-
Whereas we received a letter in the mail today from Waste Management regarding an unpaid past due amount from August in the amount of $524.31. And whereas Waste Management has told us that if this is not paid within the next 2 weeks, our service will be cut off. Be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the payment of the Waste Management invoice in the amount of $524.31. Does anybody want to see it? It was for plastic that they paid.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Every months, every month.
August.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm here.
All right, everyone's good? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I can pay that tomorrow. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything they want to add or say? Okay.
Any comments on the letter that I sent the board?
I got a lot of them.
Go
You
for it.
better get your numbers right.
I got my numbers
You
right.
don't have them right.
Yeah, you do.
I've got my check stub, my W-2 form, and why are you calling people saying I'm getting $11,000 a year raise?
Who have I told that to, Ed?
Charlie went, you called up and said, Ed, you're getting 11,000.
I never called Charlie
Oh,
up.
yeah, okay.
Charlie, did I call you?
Nobody called me now.
I did not call you.
Okay,
It wasn't-
Ryan, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you right now, I've got every paperwork in order. My check stubs are 32 hours a week. I did make 4,300 for October, like you said.
It's right on the
Oh,
financials,
I
Ed.
didn't get paid that.
It's right on the financials, Ed.
Can you let me explain
Yeah,
some of this?
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, start explaining. We're on
I'm
field
fine with being on it, I'm
Yeah.
fine, because when you did numbers for the salaries times the hours, you didn't take into account the $2.50 an hour they make for the loader. When you made the comment about the 11,000 for him, that was done on a budget when we expected him to be driving the garbage truck 2 days a week, and that's why Charlie had no number there, because we were going to go down to one person. Ed would have been working 2 days at the transfer station and 2 days picking up the garbage. That's where the 11,000 came from.
That was the tentative budget. He eliminated Charlie and had picked up $11,000, correct or not correct? On the tentative budget.
For
I understand what
expecting
it's
to be
for.
on a garbage truck, which did not occur. So that's why it's a tentative, and you have
Yes.
preliminaries and you
But
have.
I never
revisions
said
and
he
all
got
that.
it. I said that's where the tentative budget was when I was talking to Mr. Bills.
Well,
I never called Mr. Bills. And according to Mr. Bills, I can tell you all kinds of things that were talked in that conversation that,
well, that is, you know, and also when it comes to the code, when you're looking at the code, that's not just one person. If he takes off for vacation or sick, and there's a highway person that fills in who already
It's
worked
time and a
a
half.
40-hour week, it's time and a half.
if it's on
On
Saturday
that
or Sunday.
same code.
If it's
Doesn't
on
mean it's all
Saturday.
him.
No, I know it's not all him.
Well,
But in the tentative budget, we were eliminating Mr. Bills, and that meant Ed could run the dump by himself. Now you're telling me you need to put somebody up there on the weekend. When you take a vacation or a holiday, one of these guys can't run the dump, but Ed's gonna run it by himself
Well, let me ask you.
on the tentative budget.
Who is going to run the loader when people come in from that process? Who's going to do the paperwork? Who's going to go out and run the truck?
Charlie, you told me when I was talking to you, the loader ain't been there since February. Who's running the loader?
I said, I got the loader back this week, it then broke down, it then repaired, it broke down again.
Is it up there right now?
I run it. This
Yes,
weekend,
it is.
we had metal, the load, we had a ton of mod process, do half of the roof, you can add tap, you can add curb, you can add frontage, you can add there, it was a mess. It's cleaned up.
so as far as the letter goes, if it's gonna get entered in the minutes, enter it in the minutes, but we're done discussion.
Put it in the budget, and I'll take care of it. I do the same thing with glass, and can, everything. And I don't think I overcharge that.
I don't think you're overcharging. Your budget ain't
I
over.
don't charge them 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday to run the load. If I run it 2 hours during the weekend, I run 2 hours on my
I know you
time
do,
card.
Did you read this?
I know you do.
This has nothing saying that you're not running the loader.
What?
The letter I wrote the board has nothing to do with you running the loader. Cause you didn't read it.
I don't care if I run the load or not. For $2.50 an hour.
You're the one talking about running the loader, I'm not. You lost around $4,700 last month.
If you don't want me to work up there, fire me right now.
Well, they were gonna.
No one over there can fire you, just so you know.
You know, the woman, that one can't fire me.
No one
He
can
can
fire
fire me.
you. Not alone, you can't.
Or Susan Shepard,
Well,
a supervisor hired me. No one else.
well, the letter can go in the minutes if that's what you wanna do with it, but it's not
Up to the
accurate.
board, not me.
Very
Well,
inaccurate.
I think it has to, he requested it go in the minutes in the letter, so it has
That's
to.
right. I'll tell everybody that comes
So
in,
include
just
the
where
letter?
it come from, how it
Do you
originated,
have to?
what to expect.
That's
That's not my
correspondence.
call.
I'm not gonna back down at all.
Excuse me?
I don't think that's my call, it's a letter to the board, and he requested it, so you guys gotta tell me, do I put it in or not?
If he requested it, it has to go in the minutes, that's what I think, but whether it's accurate or not is, that's debatable, but
It's very debatable, right?
Yeah, this
Very
letter is
good.
not accurate.
But here's the thing, guys, and
I
I'm
don't
not,
care what it is, if you're gonna put the thing in there and get it over so we can go home, let's do it.
Here.
Let's vote on putting it in, I'll bring it to the floor.
We're gonna vote on it, okay.
Sure,
Might as well,
Who seconded it?
I'll second it.
Okay, so
then we'll know it's right.
what are we saying?
To put the letter in the minutes.
here's the thing, whether or not we agree with it, whether or not it's accurate, doesn't matter. As
No, I
board
don't-
members, can I finish?
Yeah,
As board members, we have a responsibility to the public when they raise questions, to answer their questions in a
Yeah.
professional manner.
that's right.
Not to get into an argument or
No,
debate with
I'm
them.
just saying, that you
Or
got
get-
it all on, you
get
can be a
angry.
board member and a worker also,
Okay.
okay? You agree with that? Think about that, think about that, okay? All right, let's go on where we're going, let that go.
So what are we doing?
Adjourning.
We're gonna vote on that letter.
Oh, okay.
Aye.
Aye.
This is to add the letter to the minutes.
Say yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
Bye-bye, okay. Thank you for the guidance.
Thank you.
You got anything, got it? You wanna bring it up?
Oh, we didn't adjourn yet.
Nope.
I'm gonna have a motion to cancel tomorrow.
That's the gentleman.
You can read it.
Should we adjourn the meeting?
Yep, that's Doug's call.
Okay.
All in
So
agreement?
you dug it. Okay. Who seconded it? I didn't hear.
I think Charlie seconded it.
Charlie, did you second it, Charlie? Okay.
He's the budget officer in Washington County and is.
So I better hurry.
Debbie, I'll certify that. Wait, wait,
You said you
wait.
could use it
Wait,
for
wait,
any-
this morning, Debbie.
No, I've outlined what it
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to certify the budget now.
Buildings.